Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what we're talking about here when we're speaking of trans teens or trans surgery or what have you, and all this great stuff, right? We're talking about how, how it's supposed to save trans kids, it's not bad, it's not horrendous, and like, there's all these great positives. Well, unfortunately for them, they seem to neglect and ignore a lot of the massive complications or issues that it would pertain. And these are one of the issues among many, many others. One of these reasons is that one thing we have here. Trans teen die from vaginoplasty complications during landmark Dutch study used to justify child sex changes. We have this here as well, to where Elon Musk jumps into transgender debate, says prison for parent doctor who sterilized a child, and I 100% agree with this. It goes on to say here that any parent or doctor who sterilizes a child before they are a consenting adult should go to prison for life, and I 100% agree with this. This is not up for debate, because as we see here, this is a trans teen that died from vaginoplasty. A 2016 medical article documented the tragic death of one of the participants in the alleged Dutch study, upon which the child sex change experiment is based, and indicates that puberty suppression was to blame for the young person's death. The case is that of an 18-year-old trans-identified male whose puberty was blocked by the Dutch researchers at the very early stage, meaning there wasn't enough penile tissue for a surgeon to use to create a device. Sexual organ. Therefore, a more risky procedure using a section of the patient's bowel was necessary, which resulted in fatal necrotizing fetus. The manuscript by Negamorn et al. Begins by saying that the absence of a functional woman's sexual organ has a negative effect on the sexual quality of life of transgender women, and explains that multiple surgical procedures have been described for a vaginal reconstruction in these patients. The patient is described as being a healthy 18-year-old whom standard vaginoplasty surgery was not feasible due to having undeveloped genitals as a result of early puberty suppression. Transgender women with early onset transgender dysphoria treated with puberty suppressing hormones report fewer behavioral and emotional problems and an improvement of general functioning. Readers are assured at this point. Major complications begin within 24 hours of surgery, and necrotizing fetus was confirmed in the days that followed. Despite large doses of intravenous antibiotics and repeated surgical debridement, the previously healthy patient went into multiple organ failure and died. Once again, after this harrowing account of a young person's needless death, the researchers assure that the reader that the vaginal reconstruction has a positive influence on the quality of life of non-transgender and transgender women, but cautions that physicians and patients need to be aware of serious complications that may arise. The thing here is with this is that the serious complications that arise are with you stunning the puberty of kids at the age of 9, some even being at 8 and onward. This is what you guys do, and the mere fact of this is that it's completely horrifying. There's nothing good about this. There's nothing positive that comes from this. Only children suffer, only kids get mutilated, and only the thing that you could do is just see absolute horror. And what you're saying is that any kid, even at the age of 15, which some doctors even do, hell, there have been reports that I've done here that kids have been having it done at the age of 9 to 10 that are doing this. And you're saying that this is okay for kids to do this. No. This is evil in every step of the imagination. The investigation into the young person's death revealed that the deadly strain of E. coli most likely came from the patient's own intestines, not from the hospital setting, meaning that the more risky vaginoplasty surgery necessary due to early puberty suppression almost certainly caused the fatality. Dr. Michael Biggs, a sociologist who played a key role in exposing the scandal that unfolded at the soon-to-be-closed Tavistock Gender Clinic in London, spoke of this tragic case in a recent review on the Wireless podcast. Biggs noted that while early puberty suppression for boys who experience childhood onset gender dysphoria has the advantage of creating a more feminine appearance, in adulthood, the major disadvantage is the genitals remains that the small of boy making vaginoplasty much riskier. Instead of using the penile tissue, they will have to use some of your colon, explained Biggs. Now, of course, that means opening up your intestines, and that's obviously a much riskier, because then you have a different site. Of course, intestines are also messy. Biggs went went on to say that the Dutch team did not acknowledge that the young person's death was not due to a random hospital infection, but rather it was an indirect consequence of puberty suppression. Jazz Jennings, star of the reality TV show I Am Jazz, faced a similar issue when it came to time for gender surgery. Jennings was an extremely gender non-conforming child who would almost certainly have grown up to be a gay man, but was instead transitioned at a very young age. Which seems to be false, because Jazz Jennings now is looking to go seeking women as, as something. And of course, the far left will go and say, or the Democrats will go out and say, oh, well, this is fine. This just means she's a lesbian because she likes women. Even though biologically he was a man, and, this is where we're at here, right? Because they want to twist it around. No, biologically he went towards women because obviously he was a biological of nature, a man. And now we also know that Jazz Jennings is not doing in the mental capacity, and the mother, aka also the far left, did this to this person. They destroyed this man's life entirely over the far left stuff. Jennings' puberty was also blocked very early, meaning standard vaginoplasty was not possible. Jennings required the 3 corrective surgeries, still struggles in the dating world, and never has experienced an orgasm. Dr. Marcy Bowers, Jennings' surgeon and president of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, is on record saying that all boys who have their puberty blocked early will never experience orgasm, which surely casts doubt on the statistical issue that vaginal construction has positive influence on the quality of life in transgender women. Now, after all of saying this and reading this, that men would never get sexual gratification, where women will also not receive, I would assume, sexual gratification as well, you're denying pretty much, everything from that person's ability to do so, where that could also play a major role in relationships. So not only do these doctors destroy these people's lives by doing these type of surgeries and puberty blockers, but they also destroy these people's future relationships by possibly not being able to offer the other individual what they want. This is insanity in every possible way imaginable. And these are the evil that these doctors are doing. And now, you want to say, oh, well, who's the cause of this? Well, how many of the Democrats have you seen that actually advocate for this type of stuff, that want to push this onto the people? And then you're saying that you should go and vote Democrat because, therefore, they're for inclusive. They care about you. So, when has the Democrats ever done anything for black people at all? What possibly have they done? And then you say that, well, black women are majority in New York. There are more black babies aborted in New York than they are born. So therefore, therefore, if that's the case, how are they benefiting black women, black people at all? How are they benefiting anything at all? So this is what we're coming to where we're thinking that to do these trans surgeries onto kids, onto minors, and think this is A-okay, that nothing has concerns or what have you, and this just should be allowed, which is insanity. I think that this needs to be talked about a lot more in a lot of other areas, because the mere fact that this is going on and being allowed is insanity, and it's happening to children. We got to stop it. We got to stop it immediately. All right, guys, that's the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.